Cool. So I've never tried doing this before, but first thing I know I want to do is I want to make sure that I can share this on my other channels. And I don't see a place that I can grab a link. All right, this might be interesting. Nope. Share. I'm gonna grab a link and give me a moment. All right, reconnecting. Good. Hello. I see at least one person there. Let's see if I can grab chat. Can you say something so that I know that chat is working? That would be very helpful, because I am a total noob when it comes to streaming on YouTube like this. And they disappeared. All right, we'll get more people from Discord and other places before that point, but I see people are starting to sort of filter in. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, it is very echoey in here. I am not where I usually am. This is our new place in Wisconsin. Hey, Kisone, good to see you there. All right. A few people, I'm sure more people will be coming in the next couple minutes or so. So, greetings, Trevor. Yeah. So welcome to the Kinsoki Radio YouTube channel. Now, this is totally off the cuff. Wasn't planning on doing this, but I wanted to try out two things. First of all, I wanted to make sure that our stream quality out here away from the cities is decent enough for me to do this kind of thing, because we'll also be doing like actual radio broadcasting and stuff out here as well. So stream quality and just connection quality in general is very important. The other thing is to kind of give you guys an update on what's been going on over the past week or two, even more than that, because it's been a while. I've been sort of like on and off paying attention to things in Discord and stuff. So anyway, so good to have you here. So why am I doing this? Beyond the things I just mentioned. Well, I'm here at our new location. That light is conspicuously purple. You see that? That's actually kind of a cool effect. Anyway, I just got done moving a whole bunch of stuff from our place in Minnesota, and now I'm here at our place in Wisconsin. And it's the night before the big move. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening tomorrow. And yeah, right now, I mean, I've still got like boxes sitting there. Actually, I wanted to move those. I'll give you a little bit of a tour though, if you're interested in that. So let me just get some things off my chest first. Yeah, we're moving, and the internet quality, the connection quality here is much different. The circumstances are much different. There's no cable internet out here. There's no fiber right now. Although there apparently is a company that has a fiber line off of one of the county roads next to where we are. So only problem with that is the ground is frozen right now. So they can't get the line out to here. So they're gonna have to wait until the ground unfreezes in a couple months or so until they can get that line dug out, and then we'll have fiber and it's not gonna be an issue. But until then, we're stuck on Verizon, like Verizon hotspots for everything. And the reason for that is because there's no other company. There's no like, I mean, they have like satellite internet company and like another one, it's like ADSL or something, that'll run something out here and give you service that way. But no one wants to give you that kind of service for only like 2 months, because they'll all try to lock you into like a 2-year contract or something like that. So we had to improvise and figure out, well, how do we get decent internet access while we're out here just kind of waiting for the ground to thaw, literally. So, say 15% or more in good hands. You got that little mixed up, but no, you got the idea. So we're gonna be on that, and I hope that's good enough for doing things like radio broadcasting. You'll notice behind me that I'm standing in the kitchen, and this is, if you've been paying attention at all to some of the things we've been tweeting about and talking about at GR, some of the last couple live shows we had, we've kind of hinted at doing this, but we've done a cooking show before, and this is the kitchen we would be doing the cooking show in. So we've got, I still don't know where the light switches are here, but oh, there we go. It's brighter in here. Awesome. So yeah, we've got a range. It's a gas range even. So like, you know, I'm not gonna touch it. I I lived in an apartment with the gas range, and I was like, I never wanted to use it because I'm so used to electric. We got a fridge that will blind you. Like, holy crap. Yeah. So anyway, it's a kitchen that you can cook in, but it's just I don't know. It's a different setting. So like, I don't know. Before we were limited to just having like one camera angle, but like say if we put a camera there or something, you could see everything. Like, I don't know, ingredients prep. Maybe you'd have a couple different cameras on this side. You do it that way. I don't know. So I guess now that I've shown you the kitchen, I'll kind of take you around here. So if I'm coming from the garage, this is the garage. Come from here. Door's locked. Door is stuck. Yeah, my car's in here, but that's the garage. And I was going to take this stuff behind me into storage. Actually, we'll do that one last, because that's kind of a cool place. We'll get through just kind of showing things off a little bit, and then I'll take some questions. So anyway, back into the kitchen. This is basically a living space, and this is my family's house, my parents' house, but I'm going to be here because I've been with them for a while until I figure things out on my end, because I was in an apartment, now I got my own situation going anyway. So we already have dish for television, because your options are limited. Yeah, there's one thing, we're going downstairs now, there's one thing that we didn't have at the other place, and that was space. That was storage space for just various things. It's not that we have a lot of stuff, it's just that there's no real good place for all the stuff that we have. Anyway, it's a 2-level house. I'm now in the lower, I guess, what would this be, like a family room or something? I don't think we've officially named these rooms yet, but you'd have a television there. Put a honking big television there for sure. Let's see, yeah, back there is just, you can go out in the backyard. We have 3 dogs, so it's just kind of a nice place for them to go out, do their thing. And you've got a bar if you want, we can go over here and grab something from the fridge. I don't know, this stuff isn't really bad. Yeah, I don't know, you get some stuff in there, but that's nice. Yes, doggos indeed. This is sort of a den. It's kind of it's the gaming room / exercise room or whatever. It's not technically a bedroom, even though it has a closet in the corner here, because it only has one way to get in or out. A bedroom, in order to be called a bedroom, needs at least 2 ways to escape if something happens. So, closet, just got a bunch of storage stuff in there. You'll see that my brother has already christened this room. But tried to hang up something on the wall with poster tape, and it didn't really work out that well. But they'll get that patched up. It's not a big deal. It was just kind of funny when it happened. What was it, last night? We were moving stuff, settling in a little bit, and that's what happened. All right, now moving over here. Now we're in a hallway, and I'm also testing the connection once again, just, kind of moving through rooms and whatnot. Anyway, so this is where I'm going to be staying for the next while. And I guess this video only went out to some people, but there was a video that I made at some point where I said it was a storage room next to my current room. And I said the storage room was roughly the same size as the new closet. Well, this is the new closet. There's a ton of stuff in here. There's actually... We hear you. Good. Excellent. Being able to hear me is good. Yeah. If you're waiting on a shirt, it is in one of these boxes. These are all of our shirts down here. I've also got a huge box of mugs sitting back here. I don't want to show off too much because I'm sure there's like address stickers and stuff. So, but I've got a whole mess of computers. Like most of these are old, but like I like this case. I want to sell this one. I want to sell some of these, so I don't know. Maybe I'll let you guys know what I'm doing. We've been doing a data project for a little while where we've just been kind of getting things together for the station as well as just sort of my own personal past projects where I needed a lot of space. So we have a data server. Anyway, there's a huge array here, 16 terabytes of space. Okay, it's not huge by like YouTuber standards, but we don't do video content, we do audio content these days, so don't need a huge amount of space for that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I've got going on. Of course, there's a lot of rooms I'm skipping. They're not mine. It's like none of my business, therefore none of your business, and that's just the way it is, right? Anyway, yeah, 16 terabytes, and believe it or not, I've almost filled it. Like, most of it is full. It's, the way we were doing it before was we had a couple of 5 terabyte hard drives that were just mirroring each other. And that recently was getting to the point where it was going to fill up, and I was like, this is not sustainable. It's also, you're using only 50% of the available space, because you have 10 terabytes, but you're only able to use 5 terabytes of it. That thing has a little bit of fault tolerance through Unraid, is the OS that I'm using for it, and it's Linux based. But the premise is that what we have going on right now is we have 5 4 terabyte hard drives, and that, if you do the math, is 20 terabytes. But we have a parity drive, which does a thing. It does some like bit calculations to tell the difference of what's on the other drives, and so if one of them fails, we're able to plug in a new drive, rebuild the data, and then you're good again. So it's effectively 16 terabytes, which is pretty cool. Different than your traditional RAID setup. Anyway, that is a little technical, but I'm gonna go back upstairs. It is dark, a little spooky. So what's been going on with you guys? Is there anything that I haven't really filled you in on over the past couple weeks or past month or past year, or if you just started listening to the station, maybe there's some things that you just don't know about the station, how it works or any of that stuff. If you were a subscriber to this channel and are watching now because of the Top 100 video that we put out a little while ago for Songs for the Year 2017, as rated by listeners on Gensokyo Radio, then I'm going to guess that you're also fairly new to what it is that we do. Gensokyo Radio obviously plays a bunch of music from, it's music derived from music from the Toho Project series of games, and it's a really obscure, select category of music. It really is. But it blows my mind when I say this, but we've been doing this for like 7 years. You know, Gensokyo Radio has been around since 2011, and it's 2018. And this next, yeah, that's good, thank you. Happy to explain it, Snow. So this next March was it March 2011 is when the station began. So every March we have an anniversary show. And what I mean by that, if you're completely unaware, is that every month we do a live show on Gensokyo Radio. And it's usually hosted by me, and we have some co-hosts on as well. It's a 2-hour show where we play a lot of new music, music that was rated high by our listeners, and sometimes requests and stuff like that. So right now, I think our next show is number 66. And if you one per month, we've been doing this for a while. So we're pretty decent at it, at least I like to think. So, yeah. I know we have just a few of you out there, but yeah, thanks for stopping by. You can join the GR Discord, as Kisone says. It's we are partnered on Discord at discord.gg/gr. But I am still here, so this is a thing. You can even think of it like a one-on-one. You can ask questions if you're curious about anything, and I'll I'll help you out. I know there was a question in Discord that I can't check right now because I'm doing this, about like how much music we had or something along those lines. Now that file server downstairs, it's got 16 terabytes. That's not all Gensokyo Radio stuff. That's got a lot of other stuff on it. Part of it is the stuff that we've done for GR. We have every show that we've done since the first one, so that's going many years back. But yeah, that array just has a whole bunch of stuff. It's basically everything I've done since 2003-ish, so like the past 15 years. So yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, let's see. We're going to have a Cherno-themed anniversary for the 9th year. Like the whole year? What would we do exactly? GR6 actually had a background on the website that had a subtle like circle 9 things in the background. I just kind of left it that way, I guess, one time and kind of forgot about it. But for the 9th anniversary, that would be 2020, I think. Man, yeah, there is definitely a whole lot of stuff out there. We celebrated live number 60? I think it was 60. And that was on Cherno Day last year. And that was the first time that we could do that because our shows these days are on Saturdays. And so that Saturday happened to be the 9th of September, 2017. If you haven't listened to any of our other shows, we do have them archived on Mixcloud. You can also go to gensokyoradio.net, and I think it's either /shows, or you can click on the music tab, and there's a shows link in there somewhere too. If you have never listened to any of the shows, that is one way to find out a little bit about how they are. So just an anniversary celebration. It's like Kisone, like maybe doing like 2020's anniversary show celebrating. I mean, sure, it's kind of like the Cherno that we did in 2017. I think we could, pick out a little bit more music that has that theme or something. I don't know. It can be whatever we want it to be. There's no real like strict. What are we going to do? It comes down to this. What are we going to do? What are people interested? What do people want us to do? And we'll try to accommodate if we can. So yeah, I think we can make something happen. 2020, March, whatever it happens to be. So we can definitely do that. Kisone is very active. Let's scroll back up here. So now I wonder if there's anything else that we haven't covered with GR. Just kind of gave a brief explanation on what the station is, what we do, or what we've done. For the past like 4 or 5 years, we've had a setup at Anime Boston. It's an anime convention in Boston, Massachusetts, where some of our staff team helps out with part of the arcade there. Now, it's not our setup. We just kind of help out, but in sort of return, or I guess they're appreciative, they like that we help out. And so we've had our own table in that setup that just plays music from our station, and it adds atmosphere to the whole room. The arcade at Anime Boston is huge. It's in a ballroom. It's like the biggest single room of any of the rooms that they have at that convention. And so we usually do like a little corner of the room or something. There was one year where we occupied the entire back wall. That was ridiculous. I think we had like 16 machines, and it was just this huge arc that expanded across the back wall. We weren't in the middle of that one. I think we were kind of off to the side, but every year for 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been, we've had a little bit of a setup there. I actually have a poster downstairs that we had last year at AB, and I'll either be sending that poster out to the folks who are going there this year. I'm not going to that one this year, just because I am a little more strapped for cash this year because of certain events. But DMJ is going to be out there. Zara, who's a Boston local, is going to be out there, and they'll be helping out with the arcade once again. So I mean, they've already got their tickets and their rooms and everything set up. So if you are curious to meet some of the GR staff, they'll be out there in Boston in a couple months or so. Or I guess not even a couple months. It's coming up pretty quick. Can't say the exact date because I'm not going there this year, but yeah. So. All right. The station is 24/7, and it just plays music. It's pretty automated, but we do updates. We'll switch up the playlists. We try to keep it a little fresh anyway. We don't generally put music that is like super new because I don't know. I just feel like it's a respect thing almost. So a lot of the music that we play on the station is released during one of the events like Comiket or Retai Sai or M3 or stuff like that. These are all like Japanese events because the music comes from Japan mostly, but not all of it does. Sometimes we've had music that gets released during Retai Sai, which I know sounds strange because it is a little strange. It's a combination of the words Reddit and Retai Sai, and it's something that the group on Reddit decided they wanted to do. And some people will publish their music on that day as well. And so music will come out during those days, and we might play some of it on the station relatively quickly, but we won't put it into the general rotation, the playlist that plays 24/7 on and on at gensohiradio.net, just because if people really want to listen to it, we always encourage people to go out and try to find a way to grab the album themselves. We ourselves have a pretty sizable physical library between myself, Zara, DMJ, some of our past staffers, our tribe who kind of seeded the library. Imurak was just a huge fan. He had a really decent library. And so we ourselves as staff really want to support the artists, and we encourage people to do that as well. So, I was a little afraid this question would come up, but it is a little bit of a gray area. So if you think about it, comic market is a gray market. And basically the Japanese authorities kind of let it go because it's so good for the Japanese economy. Now, I'm not going to say that it's right or wrong, but over the years, we've had a very open policy on if you don't want us to play your music, that's fine. Just send us an email and we'll do whatever it is that you want us to do in that regard. But over the years, we've actually found the opposite has happened, where artists like Renko or certain circles, I know that DMJ does music reviews every now and then, or he used to anyway. He hasn't done one in a while. And there was an album that he reviewed where the band or the group actually wrote a little comment and said, "Thanks for reviewing this. Thanks for being a fan of the music." So I mean, it's cool to have that interaction with the artists every now and then, even though most of them are in Japan or Japanese, or there's a bit of a cultural barrier, a language barrier, obviously. So strictly speaking, is everyone asked? No, and the reason for that is because it's really difficult to do that. But by the same token, some people would argue that it's exposure, but I think my brother's here actually. He was going to move stuff over today, so I'm just hearing his car pull in, I'm pretty sure. Some people would say it's an exposure thing. We just it's interesting because if you go to Japan, I myself went to Comiket in summer last year at C92, and they have an absolutely massive hall, like a merchant hall, or it's just full of different circles with different music, different artworks, like different doujin works is what they call them, but all sorts of different mediums and people just collect. They group up on this one day and they put their stuff out there, and it's just so cool to see. But we don't have anything like that because of a couple of reasons. Like, it is a gray market, and I think like here in the US where I am, that kind of thing doesn't fly quite as easily. So it is a little bit of a cultural thing. There's also, yeah, I don't know. It is kind of a weird topic. Give me a moment here, because I know that someone's about to walk in, and actually the door is locked. So hold on. No, I'm streaming right now, so just to let you know. Another moment here. It isn't practice because, yeah, no, it's that one's a tough question to answer. So, do you just have one bag, or do you have a lot more stuff?
More stuff.
Okay. Anyway, I'll keep going here. So, yeah, that is probably one of the more difficult ones to answer. But a lot of people, yeah, I'm not 100%. A lot of people have compared it to the policy that music DJs sort of go by, and that is that artists are generally okay with it. That is, you playing whatever music they have as the artist, as long as you yourself have bought their work. So that's why we have most of what we play, or if not all of what we play. Some of it, I think, like Aratribe seeded the library, so I know he's got a ton of stuff. Imurek has a ton of stuff. I have a lot of stuff. DMJ has quite a bit. Zara, I think, I'm not sure, but he is currently our library manager. So I'm not saying this is a steadfast rule, but as a DJ, and I'm not saying this for all artists either. So say that, like, I don't know, if you're I don't know, a random DJ in Toronto or something, and you're playing a work from like Deadmau5 or something, are they going to go after you for playing their music in a public setting? Well, it's weird because technically, you should get their permission first. But in practice, it's generally accepted. And it's more accepted if you have their works, because it's because, like, for one, you're not playing, a lot of times, you're not playing the whole song, or you're not playing the whole album. So, you know, we kind of go by a similar setup where we don't play music from, like, all songs on a particular album in most cases. So, I mean, it's like any other terrestrial radio station. You know, if you've got, say, a radio station has the rights to play songs from a certain kind of like Jason Mraz album or something, they're not going to play every song from that album because there's only like a certain few hit songs that people are going to really be interested in. So, anyway, new question, because that one's a difficult one to answer. The visit to Japan video, so that one is on a different channel. That one's Channel Lunar on YouTube. And that one I did spend quite a bit of time editing and putting together. There is another video idea that I haven't started putting together yet, but it's basically, as I mentioned earlier, I went to C92, it's Comic-Con 92 in Japan this past summer, and I went there as a helper for a circle. For Komeiji Records, because they actually had a table at Comic Market this year, or last year. So I want to make a video that says, or that just kind of explains what that experience was like. Because it was their deal, it was their gig. Like, we're not part of Komeiji Records, but I knew that one of the two people from Community Records was about a 5 mile, or man, I wish it were 5 miles. That would be so much easier. 5 hours to drive to their location. And I actually did that during Live 42, 43, one of those, during one of our live broadcasts. So they're a music circle. They have published albums before, and they submit an application to get a table in Japan, and they totally weren't expecting to get that table, and it turns out that they were accepted. So, I mean, we were already going to Japan, but they didn't expect to get a table, but now they had a table, and the main problem is that they didn't have the physical stock that you needed to sell stuff in Comiket, because it's all physical. Like, it's all like you're handing someone a physical album. You're not going to be like, here's a link to my latest mix track or whatever. So we had to figure out the problem with the inventory. We didn't have any, or they didn't have any, but we could help them because we had everything that we needed to make the CDs, to do custom printing, to make custom labels, all of that. And that all came from this other idea as Gensoki Radio that we had, where we were going to help people publish their works. They did change their name to, it might be Prism Impulse, I'm not sure. So anyway, we had to make their inventory, and then we had to get it to the country, and then we had to carry it from our apartment where we were staying to like a few different train lines to the hotel room, and then we carried it on the day of, or the morning of, from the hotel room to the Tokyo Big Site. And that was a long walk, and it was like sprinkling rain the whole way there. So if I still have one of the boxes downstairs, because that's what I used one of them to carry a bunch of my souvenirs and stuff in. But you can see that it's like a lot of the stuff that I wrote on it to say like it's for this album or that album or whatever is all kind of like, it's got water streaking and stuff because it was sprinkling on the day that we walked there, and it was like a 40-minute walk. That's a big box.
That is a terribly big box.
Is it heavy?
Oh, that's very heavy.
Huh. Okay, well, careful. Anyway. Why don't Dojin circles go digital? So there's this whole, it's a cultural thing. Like, that's the easy answer is it's a cultural thing. There's Dojin shops in Japan, they're not here. Dojin works are generally distributed physically. Here we're so much more digital. Like, CD players are difficult to find, kind of. New computers don't come with CD readers because it's all digital. If you're going to get music, it's digital download. Put it directly on your phone in an SD card or whatever. Like, no one carries around a CD player these days, much like 10 years ago or whatever. No one carried around a Walkman or whatever. Like, it's just the way the technology has gone. So it's totally a cultural thing. People still use cash in Japan. It's still very much a paper money based society. If you're going to buy something, that's how it is. So, yeah. If they did go digital, some circles do provide some things digitally, but most circles don't. A lot of times if you're going to buy a CD from a store in Japan, they'll actually ship you the physical CD. And of course you have to pay for shipping and all that stuff. Did you see the box? It was like going downstairs when I flipped the camera. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, the whole, like, why I was talking about that is because that's the video I want to make. I have video material of, like, us carrying the boxes down and going from, like, the Mita line to the Yamanote line and all this stuff. And we were just, like, cruising along on the, the Eureka moment or something. There's a monorail in Odaiba that we just, like, we had to ferry all this stuff in somehow. So it was a trip getting the stuff there and a trip getting the stuff to Big Site. And in the end, we sold some things, and I'm not going to say how much because that would be kind of spoiling it. So I'll talk a little bit more about some of the history of, what is Comic Cat, what kind of things can you find there. I don't have a whole lot of photos or video from actually inside the venue itself on day one, which is the day that we were there or had our table for, because my phone was being used as a music preview device at our table. We had the phone that I'm holding right now on the table, and we had a couple pairs of headphones that people could put on and listen to the tracks for the music, because as you probably guessed, in Japan not very many people have heard of the Western music circle Komeiji Records, and maybe not a whole lot of you have either, but yeah. So I would make the next video on that one, and that would go to Channel Lunar as well. I got on today, and I was surprised to see more subs on this channel than the other one. I spent a lot of time on both those videos, actually. I spent a lot of time on the top 100 video. It was and I had to kind of power through it as well, because I had to use Adobe After Effects for that one. And we only had a trial of it, because it was the first time I'd used it. I didn't know if I wanted to keep it around for some of our other projects. I just kind of wanted to use it during the trial, put something out, get reception, and then determine if it was worth getting a subscription for it or not. So we do have subscriptions for Premiere and Photoshop, and I use Photoshop every month because we use it at least once a month for all of our promos for the live shows on Gensokyo Radio, and then Premiere for various other projects and stuff. So projects for Channel Lunar and just tons of things. So what's interesting is, as well as doing the whole internet radio broadcasting thing on GR, I also have experience in editing digital video, and I started doing that in 2003, so that's kind of where the 15 years of projects on the Vault comes from. Would it be okay if I passed out flyers for GR? You could. In fact, it's a good thing you mentioned that, because right now we are looking for artwork for this year's flyers or handouts. So every year for the past, has it been 7 years? Because we haven't done the flyers for every year, but I guess starting in 2012 we started doing these little postcard flyers, just things that had some cool artwork on them, and then on the back side they had some information about our station, and we would just hand those out to people at conventions or people who are interested. These days, since we have things such as the setup at Anime Boston, where we've got a whole table there, it's a great place to put those flyers and things, and for people to meet us if they wanted to. So every year we look for new artwork, and we have a couple we have a call out for it. We've just posted it in a few different places. And you can submit something until March 1st. If you want to know more about the kind of artwork that we're looking for, visit our website. It's the last thing that was posted, gensokyoradio.net. And you'll find more information about what we're looking for there, and what to submit and where to submit it. Digital artwork, if you or anyone else knows a little bit about doing that stuff, then great. All right, so I've been talking a while. We're almost about 40 minutes in, probably not quite that long for you guys, because I had a little bit of setup. Is it true that Comic Cat is divided into 3 days, each dedicated to a different type of content? And the answer is yes. Day 1 is for very popular things such as Toho Project, Konkole, probably other stuff, but yes, Day 1 was Toho Day for us. Day 2 is an interesting one. A lot of people say, if you're going to go to Comic Cat all 3 days, a lot of people say that's the day that you would go to some of the corporate booths and things, because in reality it's BL Day, and if you don't know what BL is, I don't even know if you want to look it up, but content of a different variety, we'll say. Day 3 is what is Day 3? It's Independent Artist Day. And day 3 ends up being a really popular day because it's like all of the top artists on like Pixiv, for example, are probably there. They probably have a table and you can meet them in person. One of our other staffers for GR, Nano or Nano Satellite, got to meet the creators behind it's like a Monster Girls series or something. It's something really obscure, but like he's a fan of it, and so he got to meet the creators of that, and it was good for him. And I was there the whole way. Also, day 3 is a mistake because it's super, super busy. Super busy. Like, I have never been in such a densely packed area where just like, if you want to move a foot to the left, you can't. You just have to keep going wherever everyone else is because there's no room to move, and it is terrible. And on a hot summer day, it's just that much worse. Anything else out there? You can totally go to day 3. If there's, like, the only reason you would go to day 3 at Comic-Con is if there's someone you really want to meet, or if there's something that you really want to get from a particular artist, if there's more than one artist that you're looking for, then bonus for you. But otherwise, try to get everything done that you want to get done on one of the other days. That's why day 2 is a great day for, like, corporate day. And I say corporate day, but like think of like I don't know, Good Smile, Bushi Road maybe. I don't know, but they're like companies. NIS maybe. But if you arrive very early, you'll be waiting in line like everyone else. And the line system for Comic-Con is majestic. It's like no other line system I've ever seen. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was like one of the Japan news companies or something did like a really cool time-lapse video, or I think they've had like helicopters look at just like this massive, it's like ants, you know, just they organize it so incredibly well, and it's so incredibly organized and orchestrated because they have all of the staffers know exactly like. So I can't say from firsthand because I never waited in line. Day 1, I got to walk right in before everyone else because I had what's called a golden ticket, because I was one of 3 people helping out with Komeiji Records. And I'll explain more about that if I actually do get that video published. But for everyone else, you can get there super early. About 10 p.m. the night before, one of our group decided to wait in line. And he was there until maybe 2:30, 3 in the morning, something like that. And then they said, okay, you can put an item down wherever you are in line, and you can leave. And then you have to be back by a certain time. I don't remember what time it is offhand. And if you're not there by that certain time, then you lose your spot in line. It's so different. Like, everyone just kind of like, in my case, Zara was the person who did this, and he just left his backpack there. And that's just totally normal. Like, no one's going to take it. It's Japan. It's ridiculous. Again, a cultural difference, but it's really cool. So if you're far enough in line, or if you draw enough, like they'll organize lines like this group of people, this, and this. They'll have like different sets of lines, and they will pull an entire set of, like, it's not like single file, it's like maybe 10, 20 people across or something. But there's just like a really, really long rectangle, kind of, you can think of it. So they'll say, okay, this group is going, then they'll funnel all the people through to the front doors, and then when there's enough space or it's not a hazard to anyone else, they'll pull the next group, and then the next group, and then, like, while all that's happening, the next group that just left will start filling in from somewhere else because they have more people queued somewhere else. It's insane. So There's a video, there's probably multiple videos on YouTube that will explain it much better than I could, but it's really cool. So go look that up at some point. I got to cheat because I had a golden ticket. So, and apparently a golden ticket for foreigners like that's really rare. The primary reason being that in order to get a table at Comiket, you have to have a Japanese address. And we happen to know someone who was our sponsor, who lived in Japan and helped us through that. He was also there in person at the table because he could speak Japanese better than we could. So yeah, Comiket, totally an experience. You have to do it at least once, I would say. Day 3 if you're daring. But then never again. Like, there's no reason to do it more than once. So, yeah. How much stuff do you haul on average from Comiket? Pretty much as you can carry. I wouldn't say a whole huge amount of stuff, but personally, it's kind of tough to say. Because like at Comiket, I spent at least $300 to $400 US equivalent on stuff, and I totally knew I was gonna so that was planned, that was built in. Most of that being albums, but I know that I had a box that I ended up bringing back here, and that box was full of mostly albums, like music albums and things, and that box could hold 50 CDs, so that might give you sort of a ballpark of what that was. Now, not all of that came from Comiket. Some of it came from other independent events. For example, Digital Wing was holding, well, maybe not specifically Digital Wing, but they were there. They were one of the main groups. They were holding sort of a concert in Akiba, and after a lot of those concerts and things, they'll sell things afterwards, like a shirt or a CD or something. Reitai Sai? I'm assuming the same question, but just from Reitai Sai, I have no idea, because I haven't been there. But Reitai Sai, I believe, is hosted at the big site as well. So, but yeah, I would assume it's similar, but I can't say for sure. Ultimately, however big of a haul that you bring from any of those events is up to you or your wallet. So, scroll back here. It's 10:18, so I'm not going to do this for a whole lot longer, but it has been really cool chatting with some of you guys. Even though it's a low turnout, I'm okay with that. I just needed to get some things off my chest, and tomorrow is going to be a whole different day, because I'm here by choice right now, but tomorrow this is going to be the norm. How much more stuff do you have? Cool. Have you moved stuff out of your dresser and stuff?
No.
Okay, because I took care of all that this evening.
Yeah. Also, garbage bags.
What's that?
Garbage bags too.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I ended up having I don't know, 6 or 7 wastebasket sized garbage bags of just clothes. I have a stupid amount of clothes. So, anyway. Help him out? No, he's done. He had a small backpack. So, we're good. I had to haul my stuff. You can haul his stuff too, I guess.
I put all my stuff into one big box and just kind of started it.
Yeah, that's you remember the huge gray container I had? That was pretty much the same kind of deal. It was filled with a bunch of cables and a couple of computer monitor arms.
Yeah, I probably won't ever do that again.
It's not a good idea.
Wait a second.
Okay, for those people who joined late, I know there's only 2 of you now, but let's take another walk downstairs. All right. What else could I ask? That's okay. Yeah, just us now, it's okay. I'm pretty sure this becomes a recording or something, so you can check it out later. If you missed any part of the beginning of it, but... Alright. It's pointed this way, not this way, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Stupid bland questions. There's no stupid questions. Only ones you don't know the answer to. Maybe you do know the answer. You're just asking them for the sake of other people. I don't know. That's up to you, I guess. Yeah. So up here, I've got a couple of pieces of equipment that we use for most of our shows. It's a ProFX 8 Mackie mixer, and these days we're using that for most of our stuff. We also use an audio compressor. We hear you, Box. What? He's in the other room. Yeah, these two things are instrumental for our live shows, so they're great to use. Some of our library is here, but I want to see if I can maybe pull something out without, like... yeah, most of it's underneath this, but, like, for example, this is one of the albums that we ended up making for Comedy Records. This is 10 out of 10 She. Got a track list on the back. Got our little logo on the corner there because we hold them out. It's kind of cool. We've got an older album here. We've had this on the station for quite a while, but this is Alice's Emotion. Might recognize. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff. I can't pull all of it out because it's kind of like in there a ways, but yeah. Microphones, mic stands, a bunch of hangers that don't have clothes on them yet because I'm not. Cause all the clothes are back here, like they're just in a bunch of bags, like because my dresser's not out here yet, and we have movers that are moving stuff, but the dresser can't have anything in it, so you have to move your clothes individually. So I took care of most of that. Well, most of that tonight. I still have a few things in the closet, but most of it's out here. So I just kind of, you know. It's not very comfortable because it's crinkly. It's just not much support either. Anyway, I'm not gonna do that again. Yeah. So. Yep. And if I'm able to figure it out, what would be cool is to just, like, this has a door, like a regular door. And so if you, like, just humor me for a little bit here. Imagine, if you will, I don't know if there's enough space. There might be enough space to put a desk down here or something, but oh, yeah. So you, like, maybe put a desk here, or maybe just use this as a temporary space, but put a little bit of, like, padding, like even like towels or something, just to get a little bit of baffling for the sound in here. Even just clothes up here would work a little bit, and doing some recording stuff would be feasible, I think. Don't know if I would do it for all the shows themselves, because there's a little bit of a problem where I don't know if I want to have, like, our file server in here, and therefore it's noisier in here but not out there, or if I would just keep it out there and anything quiet I would do in here, like sound recording. I don't know. That's just something I keep going back and forth on. I mentioned that we had shirts. This is where all of our Musical Tory t-shirts are stored. They're in a sealed tub, basically. So, and this cardboard thing helps me fold the shirts for when they're new. I don't think you guys have seen the new shirts, actually. I haven't, like, sent out any photos or anything. So, I was wearing mine the other day, but I'm not right now. Alright, I'll grab this for you guys, all three of you. Yeah. Fresh Musical Tory, or not Musical Tory, Digital Miko t-shirts. Brand new. The new design with the new logo on them. They turned out pretty well. So, and it's just freaking packed to the brim, man. There's so much. So, one of them is there. Okay, Kisone asked a question. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so my mixer brings up a question. My laptop has bad mic port because it's so cheap, but to record my audio for my cord keyboard in high quality, what cheap mixer do you recommend if you know of any? So do you need an actual mixer, or do you need something like an external sound card to replace that microphone port? Because if it's the latter, there's a much cheaper option. What we use, I don't think I have it readily available, but we use an external sound card from Behringer. We also have a smaller mixer, if you're looking for an actual something in mixer format. The Mix 5. This is something that Mackie makes, and it's maybe like $50-ish or something, but you can see it's got a couple of stereo channels, XLR in, main out, headphones. It's real basic. We use this in between the audio compressor and the main output that gets sent out to our station when we're doing live shows. Just as sort of like an extra way to monitor what the sound is like. And then, yeah, so. But, so if you don't need anything like that, then I'm trying to figure out like where on the shelf it would be. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that one, but I've got, actually, it might be in the giant gray tub. I don't want to open this thing, but maybe I will. Bear with me here. Okay, I had to hold this thing. Okay, so got absolute ton of cables in here. Got networking stuff, switches, monitor stands. So it's just like when you're moving, you just at some point you're just like, man, I just need to move stuff however I can move it. So that's pretty much what I did here. I mean, I've got tons of cables like this, and that's kind of the same thing. Cables like these. If it is in here, it's probably like at the bottom. It's one of the first things I packed. I've got some cool. That's not cool, like braided XLR cables, microphones. All of this stuff used to be organized really nicely in a square shelving unit. I don't know if maybe, but I actually left a lot of that stuff there. Dang. So I'm gonna have to like move that into my carts tonight before the movers tomorrow morning. That's great. Anyway, but Kisone 2, yeah, Kisone. It's like a UE20 something or other. It's on Amazon. It's a Behringer sound card, basically. It's got a couple of aux ins and aux outs, and it's USB, and it also has a monitor port. So it's not like these kind of plugins, but it is more like, well, these have converters on them, but like these kinds of plugins, the one with the red. So I just have 1/4-inch adapters for a lot of this stuff because that's what goes into the mixer. No, I'll put that back in there. Okay, what was the other one? I'll just leave that there for now. I missed one. Surge protectors. Yeah, it's when you're moving, everything's messy, and then it gets better afterwards. That's fine. That's just the way it is. Do I use surge protectors for my rig? What would I recommend? So, yes, we do. I've got a couple of different things. I've got a UPS, which I use for some things. And then that one is it's still at home, so it's still at the other place. But I think it's an APS, that's the brand, UPS, which is an uninterruptible power supply. So that if the power ever goes out, you have a little bit of time to do like clean shutdowns and things like that. And then, but it also like helps clean up the power and stuff. So if you ever run into the problem where you have like ground loop interference, stuff like that, I've got like cables and other equipment to kind of deal with that type of interference, but it helps a little bit just because it cleans up the power a little bit. It's probably not the absolute best thing that I could get for it, but that is one thing I use. And then the other one is, I don't know, it's a big gray power surge protector. I couldn't tell you anything more about it without checking it, and it's back at the other place right now. So, but yeah, short answer is yes, we do. The UPS is useful just in case. Like it doesn't give you any. It just cleans things up and helps prevent stuff like that from happening. Because the electric grid can be a little chaotic at times. Everything here is new. It's a brand new place. So we're the first people to live in this place. It was built to spec and all that stuff. Well, sort of built to spec. There's stuff like this bump out in there that's not supposed to be there because they put like a set of valves on the wrong side of the wall or something. Anyway. Yeah. That's it. So I think I'm gonna head back. Thank you, Snow. I'm gonna head back, but we've got a long day tomorrow. A lot of other stuff happening. If you aren't already a part of our Discord chat, it is at discord.gg/gr. I'm on there most of the time, except for like this past week because I've been dealing with all of this stuff, right? So, and then otherwise, fan group is on Facebook, Twitter, blah blah blah. You know, all the other stuff. So I'm gonna head out because it's late and I've got other stuff to do back at the place to prepare for tomorrow. So thanks everyone for joining tonight, and I'll see you on Discord maybe. Till then.